Good afternoon, friends. Today we will talk about the most relevant events in the world. The world today. The battle for Bakhmut has begun. Russian troops, armed with heavy weapons and driven by opposing ideologies, engaged in a fierce struggle for control of the Bakhmut front. Russia said earlier today that its troops attacked 3 groups of the Ukrainian army near Bakhmut, but Kyiv said its forces, despite limited control over the long-disputed city, had left the Russians close to shelling. As the battle continued, the real test was determined in the trenches near Bakhmut. The soldiers on both sides strengthened, coped with harsh conditions, and engaged in fierce battles. Trenches are a symbol of the grueling modern war, testifying to the merciless struggle for land and victory. A video from a GoPro camera from the cleaning side of the Bakhmut shows how the fighters of the 80th Arch Brigade capture the Russian military on 300 meters of cleared land. Soldiers of the 10th Mountain Assault Brigade were seen storming Russian positions on the northern outskirts of Bakhmut. Russian soldiers of the Brigade of Ukraine managed to catch the Russian military on the Bakhmut front. A total of 5 Russians surrendered. In various places, the 3rd Battalion of the 110th Brigade stormed the positions of Katsap and captured 12 Russian soldiers, clearing the trenches around Klishchevka. The forest plantations in the west of the settlement were almost completely blocked, while the Russian troops were eliminated from 2 key positions. The decisive heights soon returned to full control of the Russian Federation. Fierce and brutal fighting took place at the center of the conflict in eastern Ukraine, where tension has been going on for many years. Bakhmut and the surrounding trenches served as the site of violent clashes, attracting international attention. The conflict in Bakhmut highlights the trials of those stuck in the trenches. Russian troops in the area came under heavy pressure from Ukrainian troops who threatened to encircle them. The Russian Defense Ministry did not comment in its daily briefing on reports that Russian troops had withdrawn from the village of Klishchevka, southwest of Bakhmut. An official representative in Russia and eastern Ukraine denied these reports. The Ukrainian army said that the Russian troops withdrew. The Ukrainians attacked them mercilessly and finished off the remnants of Russian troops in the area. Ukrainian forces have made some gains south of Bakhmut, although it is too early to talk about this as progress, Malia said, adding that heavy fighting covered areas north of the city. Stuck in the crossfire, the inhabitants of Bakhmut face unimaginable trials. The battle brought indescribable suffering, forced families to leave their homes, and disrupted daily life. Humanitarian organizations are rushing to help and support desperate residents who are trapped in a war zone. Meanwhile, new drone footage released by Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade shows the destruction of Russian reinforcements to Bakhmut. Video from Bakhmut from the Hornet Reconnaissance and Assault Detachment, a fighter from the 2nd Assault Battalion, the destruction of the detachment by artillery and fire from the 3rd Oshkra. Amid the chaos and destruction, an incredible story of heroism and resilience emerges. Soldiers and citizens show incredible courage, going beyond their responsibilities. These inspiring stories of dedication and sacrifice among the halls of war remind us of the human spirit that overcomes difficulties. Meanwhile, cavalry troops attacked in the vicinity of Kalishchivka. Reports that Moscow's troops withdrew from there pose a danger for Russia to lose a strategically important city near Bakhmut, which could allow Ukrainian troops to launch an offensive. According to Kyiv, its troops attacked around Klishchivka, south of Bakhmut, while it was reported that Moscow's troops had completely withdrawn from the village. Russian Facebook evening reports from the General Staff of the Ukrainian Army reported that they had repulsed a Russian attack on the village of Bodanivka on the western approach to Bakhmut. Russian attacks were also thwarted both in the north and south of the city, he added. Russia's TASS news agency reported that the number of victims recorded in 24 hours had risen to 8 in what it described as a shooting in the Russian-occupied city of Donetsk. TASS also quoted emergency services in Makiivka, near Donetsk, saying that shelling in Ukraine partially destroyed an oil storage facility. The Ukrainian army said on Tuesday that it had destroyed formations of Russian troops in Makiivka. Kalishchivka, located on the main road from southern Ukraine to Bakhmut, will be an important advantage for Ukrainians, as it will cut off a key supply line for Russian troops occupying the city. Oleksandr Motuzianik, an official representative of the General Staff of Ukraine, confirmed that his country's troops were advancing in the area, but stopped to confirm that the Ukrainians had captured the village. The Battle of Bakhmut and the surrounding trenches will be remembered as key moments in the ongoing conflict. It serves as a reminder of the human cost of war and the indelible impact it has left. As the world continues to struggle with conflicts and their consequences, it is necessary to strive for peace and work to find long-term solutions in order to avoid further tragedies like those witnessed in Bakhmut.